Hey, this is the Chief, Bonnie with Board Games, and I'm giving you a preview of a game from Phalanx Games called Germania Magna, Border in Flames. All right, Germanic tribes, Rome is near its end. They can't really protect their borders anymore, and these Germanic tribes see that, hey, these places are ripe for looting. We don't have enough to go in and defeat Rome, but we can go into that province and take all their good stuff. And I'm willing to work with this chieftain, and that chieftain, you the chieftain, in order to get it done. Until we're about ready to win, and then I might just take your stuff from you or fight you in personal combat and get some extra glory. Can we keep it together? Because this is a backstabbery game. A lot of backstabbery going on. Hence, the Punisher, yet the white hat. I'm a good guy. Don't mess with me, I'll punish you, but I'm good. Let me go in and show you how this plays, all right, so you can get a feel for the gameplay, and we'll come out and I'll share some thoughts. All right, let me just familiarize the play area, and it may not look exactly set up like this, and again, I'm going to just say these are prototypes, so don't consider any of this final art. Just got your mix of coins here. Each player starts off with 5 coins. Each player is going to start off with 5 cards from the tribal deck. I'll go in and show some closer up pictures of the art, but I just love the art on here. It's vibrant and it's exciting. It's evoking. So each player starts off with 5 cards. You're going to have, there's a mix of 4 kinds of cards. You've got most of them being what they call as tribal units. And then you've got what's called an attachment, which they'll do different things, all right, based on that. You're going to have, let me see, you're going to have strategy cards, and I'll go into how these are all played, and tactics cards. But you're going to be fighting over, let me put these down, you're going to be fighting over different provinces. After you win a province, it goes into a discard pile. As soon as you have 6 of these province cards in discard, the game's over. Along the way, you're going to be getting like laurels for the deeds that you do, the provinces you defeat, and the power that you've brought to that battle. If you're the most powerful warlord, Germanic chieftain on the field of battle, you get more laurels. But if you just help somebody else, essentially you get some along the way for coming in and helping. Now this is the back of them. And again, I'm going to just flip over and just thumb through a bunch of these, and then I'll kind of show you how gameplay goes. These are provinces in the German area. So it's still part of Rome, but Germania, and Germania Magna means the area east of the Rhine, I believe, east of the Rhine. But you'll see there's a bunch of little different German areas you're fighting over. The key to pay attention to on here is this is the kind of the garrison that's protecting the area. This is the loot that you get if you take it, and then you always got some text that'll explain some things, some stuff that happens in defeat. I believe, I forget what that means. I think you draw 2 cards if you're the main person. But you can see more powerful, some loot, but the pictures again are just gorgeous. So I'm going to thumb through each one of these so you can kind of get a look, and then like I said, I'll walk you through a real quick gameplay on how you actually battle for this province. I love that. So the most stunning thing with this game, and it really needs to be there, is the art. There's those lovely aqueducts. So I wanted to just kind of roll through those and show those. So let me show you how a game works. These are shuffled. All right, it's a 25. Now there's some rules on how many people are playing and how strong they are. But that kind of tells you. And then however much loot is there is how many cards. You're going to take Roman cards, and they're going to be, in this case, you take 4 of them, and they're just going to attach underneath. and they're going to be an unknown. They're like a wild card. You don't know how much is going to be defending this area. So you know it's got a garrison of 25, but now there's some Romans underneath there that will do different things as we attack as well. So you don't know what's underneath there, but it's going to bolster this. You can see down here, so again, my tribal cards, this is the deck that we'll draw from. My gold, my tracking, my victory points, I've got one is like the 10s and one is 1s. This is a nice little guide that's going to show you your setup and how the rounds go through. So I've completed the setup there. We're going to go through preparation phase, supply phase, deploy, and then the actual clash phase, which is the battle for that. And it'll cover the symbols, just glory points, loot, military strength. The other side's real nice, and I'll get into this later, but when the clash phase happens, depending on how many people are fighting for it, this is the strength of the thing you are fighting for. So this is a 25. It's about as strong as you can get. Like I said, in some of those, they're removed from the game. But if you're the only player that's left alive, you're going to get the full 25 points all for yourself. However, if you have a shared victory, it's 16-9. If there's 3 of you, 13-8-4, 11-7-5-2. So this just breaks down how that scoring ends up working. Sorry, they're glory points, not laurels. One other thing I should have done in the setup, and I'm sorry, there's always 2. If there's none on the board, you're always going to have 2 to start with. If one of these is 1, boom, you're going to add in another one. Take a nice easy 5. So we're going to add this one down, and it's only going to have 1 of the Roman cards. This would be shuffled, and it's going to have a 1 Roman underneath it. So again, it could be easy, could be hard. Come up to your chieftain cards here, your chieftain decks. These are simply the different chieftains that are available for all the players to have as their individual chieftain. The chieftains are going to have some power rankings, which is going to give you initiative, and they'll always have a little special thing that they're going to do. Now this is shuffled up, and everybody at the table is going to get a chieftain that's flipped up. So you can see he's worth 4, Gabinius, and in the case of a victory, you receive twice the amount of gold that will be due. So very nice to get me some more money. And let's just pick one of these. So if we were going to be playing, someone gets Hermeric. He's only a 1, so he's not going to have good initiative. But once per phase, you may look at all the Roman cards attached to each province. So this is beautiful. So on a phase, he could sit here and look and see how powerful that is, or hey, there's only 1 there. You know, is it real powerful, making it hard to win or not? So your opponent might have this, so he's got low initiative. You're going to beat him on that. But then let's take someone with a real high initiative that's going to beat me. He's got a 7, Evergindus, and in the case of a victory, you receive your glory points, 1 glory point for each of your units destroyed in the clash. So again, you might throw a bunch in, and if they're destroyed, you're still going to pick up some glory for it. So there's some real interesting things that happen with your chieftains, and you can kind of see that already. And again, this is done randomly. You get a chieftain. The initiative value is also going to determine the order in which we play. So in this case, this player would go first, then me, then this player. So it can get a little funky sometimes as you're moving around, but trust me, you're going to know your initiative. Now in the very first area, which again, we're going down the little areas here, we've just done preparation phase. We're going to move into supply phase. Supply phase is extremely easy and quick. And again, you're going to go by your seniority. So the person who's most senior has a choice. Actually, all of you can do these because they're or actions. So you can do 4 units of loot. So somebody could come along and just add 4 more units of loot to their pile. You could instead come back and get 2 more tribal cards. So you can add more tribal cards, which hopefully is going to give you some more power and strength for the fight. Or you can kind of split the difference and you can get 2 units of loot. So you could just get 2 of these and 1 card. And you do this in the order of your seniority. So he would decide what he wants to do, I would decide what I want to do, and she over here would decide whatever she's going to do with her guy. And that's as simple as the supply phase is. And you get into your deploy phase. Again, very simple. You're going to go into turn order again. So again, we're going counterclockwise just because of the way it worked out. So this player would go and select one card from their hand and place it down in a province. Now again, there's 4 different types. You've got to start what they call a horde, which has to be one of your warrior cards. It's going to have this little symbol in it in order to go down into a province. Now that's because you have strategy cards and attachments and tactics. So you can't attach something if there isn't already one of your units there. So assuming this guy's made his move, it comes up to me, and I decide, you know what, I've got a lot of strength, and I really want to win this province right here, but I'm nervous about how many are underneath, and this guy has the ability to pick. So I'm just going to come out and come in on this one that's only a value of 5, because I believe I can come in on it strong. So I've got a horseman. You can see that's where it confirms that he is a mounted unit. Sometimes the art will look like they're mounted, but if it doesn't have the symbol, they're not mounted. I'll get into this later. This is all about losses that you can take after a clash. And then while it's down, I can sacrifice this unit, and I don't have to do text losses in this horde, and or to test losses, sorry. This is testing losses in the horde. So I put this down. You kind of do it based on your player position. So I put it down. I can only put one card down, or I can pass. So I can select a card to go into a province to attack or pass. Once you pass, you can't come back and put anything else in. So once you're out, you're out. So ideally, it's going to go around and around until you either can't afford to do what you want to do, because, by the way, I didn't show you, this one cost me 2 to put in there. Some of them are cheaper and some of them are even free. So, but it cost me 2 to put that horseman in there, and this just goes back to there. And you can see I'm getting a little poorer. Let's assume I took a couple more loot and an extra card when I was doing the supply phase. Not bad. That's a darn good card to get. And once we're done with that phase, we're going to go on to the actual clash phase. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Let's just do the clash over this one. So I'm going to clean some of this up, and I'll put in some fake units to kind of show how this works. All right, so let's say we know the other province is in play, but we're just focusing here. Let's say the player plays here, all right? So he plays down a 2 strength, and this is just like a regular spear guy. He's like regular or light infantry. Well, then I come in and I play down my horseman, and you can see I got the little horse there, and he's a 4. He's stronger. Also got some special little text here. And then this guy comes in and he plays down warriors, but you can see it's a 3 only, but he's got this heavier, shielded fella. So he's heavy infantry. But glory is a huge thing, and the glory points you win have to do with how much strength you've brought to the battle. So right now, if we were to beat this, now we don't know the Roman card that's underneath, but I would be number 1, then this guy would get points divvied number 2, and then number 3. However, it would come around, and again, now we could lay more cards in or we could pass. Let's just pretend he passes. Comes to me, I'm like, you know what, I'm content, I'm the leader, pass. There are attachment cards that this guy here, let's say he comes in and plays this. Now you can see he's got the heavy infantry. So all the heavy infantry in this horde receive 2 additional points of battle strength. So his horde, all right, is now equaling a 5. He's the leader here. And we total these all up when we end up coming and resolving the clash. But let me cover some of the other cards that you have. All right, now tactics cards are huge, and they can be played at any time, so it doesn't have to be like your turn, and I'll show you exactly why. So you got predictions. Negate a non-tribal unit card that has just been played. So let's say I had this card, I've already passed, but this person comes and plays this attachment card. It's not a tribal card, it's an attachment. Boom, I come out and play this, and I negate it. So this is where that take that action comes in. You also have some interesting stuff you can do. Call to war is, until the end of this phase, exchange control of your chieftain for a chieftain that is controlled by another player. So we could exchange chieftains, and it would get me the turn order if I wanted it. So it's kind of an interesting deal, or maybe you think, you know what, I'm going to steal all these points. So you can do all this little stuff that's in here. We've got, I can't say this guy's name, so I'll just let you read it. And then choose one. Negate any tribal card that has just been played, or destroy a single Roman card attached to the target province. So I could come in and destroy a tribal card, or I could get rid of a Roman card that is underneath this province. So you can change things up depending on what you want to do. And that's kind of what, that's what the tactics cards do. They're very much in your face, kind of doing a lot of different things of that nature. And then the last of the cards you can use are strategy cards. Now these strategy cards will never be attached to a horde. They're never going to be part of the clash. Strategy is bigger. So tactics handles the individual stuff that's going on here. Strategy is more encompassing, but just as screw your neighborish. So you can see I can give this to another player. Target player discards from his hand 2 tribal cards. So I can just boom, nuke him. He's got to lose 2 cards. Heavy rains. All right, no more tribal cards can be played until the end of this round. So I can just go boom. So if I had some like awesome card I just played, I could just goes around, play this down, stops everybody cold in their tracks. Weaponsmithing. Search your tribal deck and or discard pile for up to 2 of your light infantry and put them into your hand. So you can go in, pull them in, put them in. So pull them in, put them in, put them in. Goodness. So again, I'm not going to go through every one of these, but there's even one where somebody's cut off somebody's head. Okay, maybe I already breezed through it. Not that you need to see a severed head. All right, so now we're just going to resolve the clash. Now again, whoever has initiative, if there's 2 different clashes going on, that person can pick which one's going to resolve first. Sometimes it matters based on the text on the cards or whatnot. So first thing we got to do is see how strong this card is. So you can see it's a 5, all right, and you can see we're going to get 1 gold coin. Everybody will get 1 gold coin if we defeat it, but we got to see what the Roman is. All right, he's 0. So we've got no reinforcements here at all. So all this province is a 5. So we're going to beat it easily, because what you do now is you total everybody's score. So we have 5, all right, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 to 5. We've totally beat it. There was no help coming from anywhere. And we come back over here, if I can get it oriented correctly. All right, and it's only a strength of 5. There were 3 of us involved. So it goes 3, 2, 0. So he's going to get 3 glory points on his board. I'm going to get 2, and this fellow's going to get 0. We'll each get that gold, though, to come back in. But you can see he didn't spend any to get it in there in the first place. I did spend gold to get mine in. Now, we still got to come in and resolve. There's a possibility we did win the clash. So we're going to come check for losses and see if this gets discarded or does it go back into your hand. All right, so we've won the province. We've gotten our glory points down. Now we got to, each one of these guys that's been involved has got to be tested. So, say what is tested? Well, you just get your tribal units up. If you win the clash, you'll be looking at the white die. If you've lost the clash, you're going to have to equal or exceed the red die. So it's 1 6-sided die. This guy rolls. He's got to get a 4, 5, or a 6. Boom. If he gets it, he gets to keep his unit. It just goes back into his hand for future use. If he doesn't, it's discarded. Same thing for this guy. Same one for this one. And you can see if you lose the battle, these warbands don't fare too well. You'd have to roll a 6 in order to keep them. However, the mounted units, they're pretty good. They can get it in and out. They're a lot more mobile. So this is a nice, I really, really like this factor that comes in. So after you've won and gotten your money and your glory points, now you got to come in and see did these guys make it out of the battle or not. So you can see how these cool little swings come when this gets flipped over. You've got to work together as these Germanic chieftains come together to defeat these Roman provinces, but you're all still looking for your own glory and your own gold. And then there's all these backstab cards where you can even flip stuff, steal it. Hey, I'm going to get your glory. We did personal combat afterward. There's all this like stab you in the back meat to the game. Now you got to love the screw your neighbor component. But let's come out and I'll talk to this where you're not just looking at my dancing hands. All right, gorgeous game. You've seen it. You can't quite see it on here, but I've shown you in there. This is all I got. I got some rules and the paper here and some art. None of this is final. And I just tore the bag. The bag's torn. Watch out. All right. None of this is final. But the art's gorgeous in this state already. This has got to be final art. I mean, they might trick it up here or there. But, I mean, it looks great. Plays really well as long as you like the backstabbery. I do. I got a couple friends I would not play this with. I play down there that I'm switching and I'm stealing their glory, and they'd be giving me the evil eye for like weeks. But if you got buddies, like I got some buddies, that will be drinking a beer and then stabbing you in the back. Hey, we're going to take this province together. We're all working together. Yeah, we're working together. Boom. And now I'm the leader, baby. I'm the head chieftain, and I'm going to get the most glory out of that fight. Well, really? Look at this. Bam. Little strategy card changes that up. And that's what's going on. And it takes you about 45 minutes to play. It's simple. It's simple to play. All the dynamics are in there with the tactics cards, the strategy cards, the attachments. How are they working with your heavy infantry, your horse, your spearmen, your light infantry dudes running around? Love it. So if this is what you like, if you like this kind of thing, attached with the cool art. By the way, they got a deal in here, it's optional. You can like custom make decks. I'm not personally into that, but it's in there if you're into that. I kind of like it random and just go. But if you want the optional is in there. Now again, rules still got to be done a little bit more proofed in English. I'm pretty darn sure I got everything right. If I missed something, the error is mine. But you got the gist. Even if I missed a little rule here or there, or if maybe something needs a little bit extra translation, you got it. It's simple, 4 phases. The card explains it down, and the rounds just roll, roll, or roll. Phalanx Games, I'm looking for the good final product on this one. Chief, bonding with board games. Go out and pillage. A little pillage. See you guys.